BlueMetric is mission-ready water. We are world-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. BlueMetric provides a full range of environmental consulting services supported by bespoke engineering solutions for emergency, self-contained, and permanent water systems, and is always mission-ready with a full range of in-house support. There is no successful mission without water. We are proud to partner with Atlantic Canadian Industries. We are mission-ready water.
Good morning, my name is Kristina Ennis, and I'm super happy to be back guest hosting with Gale Force Winds here this morning. We're at the Maritime Arctic Safety and Security Conference, and this is the Over the Horizon podcast powered by Gale Force Winds and ACADA. So I'm here with Alan, one of the co-founders of Gale Force Winds, and look forward to have a little chat with you, Alan, to learn more about how we came to be sitting here.
Yeah, well, Gale Force Winds is, Kristina, it's a neat little sort of collaboration between Jerry and myself, and Jerry brings a great technical skills of video editing and that to the table, along with a tremendous amount of business development. I have a communication background. We came together through the pandemic, and what we offer is, I often tell people, it's the special forces of the media world. We go in quick, we capture conversations, nuanced conversations, genuine and authentic, and give those back to our clients in the forms of digital files that they can move on forward. And that's what Gale Force Winds does in a nutshell.
Excellent. And I love what you guys do in terms of engaging people and offering something different at events that you don't always see at things. And it ends up being a mutual benefit to both the organizers, but also to the companies who participate in the interviews with you. And also after the fact, there's a ton of benefits to the organizations who do end up participating. Gives people the opportunity to do a bit of a step out. They might not normally get to do interviews, things like that. So it's pretty neat what you guys have developed here. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about, I guess, how you came to be here at MASS today, and maybe a little bit more about the sponsor of Over the Horizon here this week?
Yeah, so MASS, of course, brought to us by the Atlantic Canadian Aerospace and Defence Industry, ACADA. ACADA puts together a Maritime Arctic Safety and Security Conference every year. This is, in fact, their 11th year, and it's growing every year and getting more sophisticated every year. We were brought on about 3 years ago to start sharing their stories. They understand the importance of getting their messages out there differently. They understand that conversations matter, that storytelling matters. So they brought us on board about 3 years ago to start to tell those stories. And the way they do it is actually very unique. They find one of their members who wants to separate themselves and become a thought leader. Somebody who wants to see everybody in the industry thrive. Mm-hmm. A company that understands that a rising tide will float all boats, right? And they bring in a thought leader. In this case, it's BlueMetric. BlueMetric is an environmental company. They're a water management company. It's sort of a turnkey solution for your water needs. And they're in all sectors. They're in municipalities, they're in the Arctic, they're all over the place. But they do understand that conversations matter. So when you team up an organization like ACADA, a company like BlueMetric, and then you bring us in and the stories start to flow. And that's kind of how all of the pieces came together for us.
Awesome. No, that is it's really interesting, I guess, path that has brought you here, and it's really neat to see Gale Force Winds kind of sprinkle out into other sectors as well, kind of branching out to create that engagement and that knowledge and share the capacity that exists in not just Newfoundland, but Atlantic Canada and across Canada, globally, really. And storytelling is a great way to do that, particularly in the safety space. One thing that's really resonated with me over the years is not approaching a focus on safety with statistics. People don't remember those numbers, but storytelling and really connecting with lessons learned, which I think is a large part of what happens at this conference, can be really impactful. And people remember stories they don't remember a list of statistics all the time. But if you tell a really engaging story or find commonalities with people and can relate to them, those things really stick in your brain. And particularly in this sector where safety and security is very high on the priority list,
exactly,
it can be a really effective tool, not just for getting more knowledge out into the world, but even internally with getting messages across and prioritizations.
You know, and there's one thing, you know, about ACADA, and in fact, this industry right now in Canada, they're so focused on work being done in Canada by Canadians, so that as our country goes through a national ship procurement, and a lot of money going to be spent, you know. We hear just last week and had Gina Picor on just a few moments ago talking about even the polar icebreakers and what's going to happen in that space with Finland and the United States and Canada. And the real trick to all of this is to try to develop our workforce. And that's really where ACADA is so good. They listen to market needs. They listen to their members who say, we need to start developing our workforce. We need to start creating a pipeline of talent to support our industries so we can economically grow as a region, as a country. So they get all the pieces that they connect them together, right?
It's I love to hear that particularly the federal government is focusing more on local content and industrial benefits. There's other jurisdictions around the world who have a larger focus on that, I guess, nationally. But we're really lucky here in Newfoundland and Labrador. We've had experience with managing industrial benefits and local content for a really long time, particularly in the mining sector and also in offshore oil and gas. So, you know, even between sectors, it's a bit newer, perhaps, in tracking local content and supplier diversity and things like that, perhaps in this space. But taking those lessons learned from the other sectors, I think, is going to be really valuable, and tracking that information over time to see measurable differences, whether it's gender diversity or supplier diversity, and engaging businesses maybe owned by Indigenous people or visible minorities or people with disabilities or women and gender diverse folks. It's great to see it coming into another sector, and there's lots of lessons learned out there, and it's proven to have been very effective in the oil and gas space, and I'm really looking forward to that focus from a labor force supply capacity building perspective in Maritime.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. There's no doubt about it. And Victoria and her team, they travel through the sectors. They understand what's going on. They're listening. And indeed, you talk to people like Minister Andrew Parsons, who's right now really heavily focused on renewable energy and how are we going to develop a workforce for this new renewable energy. Mining, you know, you talk to the folks in the mining industry and there's how are we going to develop, and then people are starting to see, well, there's actually a lot of connections here, right? Safety is safety across the board, right? We're training very skilled people across all sectors, and you're starting to see now with leaders like Victoria pulling sectors together, saying, okay, we can learn a lot from one another, so let's start doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration opportunities, and you know, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, perhaps if you take a bit of a step back and kind of look at where some of these commitments want to go. But what's that saying about eating an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So there's so many things that can be done kind of immediately within companies that don't cost anything extra to just kind of change that mindset a little bit and shift it towards that collaborative thinking and you know, reaching out to other organizations who might have already done this before, and get those lessons learned and kind of get on a track that we're moving, that the federal government will be moving towards. So
I love the use of the word collaboration, because that's what you really see here, right?
Yeah.
You see a lot of collaboration, industry, academia, government, communities working together, right? Everybody understands that, hey, it's okay for us all to succeed together, right?
Absolutely.
And you see that a lot in this space.
Yeah, and regional economic development is also kind of a space that kind of touches every sector,
Yep.
and every sector is contributing to creating sustainable communities across Newfoundland and Labrador and across the country. So it's an exciting time. I know there's been some exciting announcements around shipbuilding and things like that the last couple of weeks. So yeah, looking forward to learn more.
BlueMetric is your partner and works with Atlantic Canadian industries and organizations who are concerned about the water health of our planet and the people who inhabit it in an environmentally and culturally sensitive manner. BlueMetric joins the growing number of like-minded, innovative Atlantic Canadian companies who are changing the environmental landscape for the globe in a world-class way. World-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. We are mission ready water.